there was a time na naghari yung mga Filipino illustrators sa DC Comics. They had their horror publications in which guys like Mang Alex really shined. Writing comics was never in my list of things to do.
Are you serious?
Oh, no.
After producing this awesome masterpiece of a book.
Yeah. At that time, I was, 2009, I got into producing a documentary film.
Yeah, you told me about that.
It's called The Bladed Hand. It's about the history of Arnis and yung global impact niya. So I covered yung Russian Spetsnaz, learning from a friend of mine. And then...
You interviewed Danny Inosanto.
Yeah, I went to... There's the Hollywood angle in the documentary where straight from the horse's mouth. Kasi dati chismis lang yung narinig ko. Oh, ginamit nila Arnis dun sa Born Identity. Blah, blah, blah.
It was totoo talaga. Yun talaga.
Tapos yung kalaban ni Bruce Lee dun sa Game of Death, Pilipino yun eh. Nag-Arnis din, di ba?
Danny Inosanto.
Dun sa Game of Death. So, I
felt bad though, natalo siya. Dapat panalo siya nun kay Bruce Lee. Parang masyadong magaling na to si Bruce Lee.
Chinok siya, Pero yun, I managed to find him and get an interview with him.
How did you track down Danny Inosanto?
Well, I was emailing and cold calling at first, and in
his estate or his agency?
Through I don't know, I forget how. I think email naka-public naman yun
Okay, yeah.
And then may phone number yung school niya.
So he teaches
yung Inosanto Academy sa
San Francisco ba?
Sa LA. Well, no, not LA, but I'm blanking on the city. Marina del Rey.
Okay.
So may interviews may class schedule si Guru Dan. Sabi niya, come here, he has a class at this time, ganun. And then pumayag naman actually yung asawa.
Okay.
Ang dapat.
What's yung siya yung parang manager, acting manager.
But you don't see her. She just gives the approval
Okay.
So anyway, he got the approval. I interviewed Guru Dan. In the course of that interview, nandun din, I was dreaming na makuha ko rin si Jeff Imada. Jeff Imada is one of Hollywood's famous fight choreographers. And he was a student of Dan Inosanto. And he wrote in the 80s 2 books on the balisong.
Really?
Oh.
But he's not Pinoy, no?
He's not. He's Japanese-American who is a big fan of Eskrima and the balisong.
Galing.
So, dream ko, kasi he was stunt coordinator for the Bourne series.
Wow.
And if you saw the Denzel Washington movie na Blind Swordsman siya.
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli.
Oh, yeah. Siya rin ng choreographer.
Jeff Imada did that.
Kasi parang may pagka-Arnis din yung style ni Eli, di ba?
Arnis was originally a blade art, not sticks.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Can you believe that?
Our original Arnis was born out of indigenous blade fighting mixed with Spanish militia-style training.
Yeah, you were telling me about it kanina.
So, I interviewed them. Nataon na habang kinakausap ko siguro Dan. Nag-akit ng tubig si Jeff Imada para sa amin.
Assistant. Parang nag-assist. Jeff Imada nag-assist kay inyo.
Nag-akit ng tubig.
Parang, sir, tubig muna kayo, sir.
Tapos tumayo siya doon sa isang corner, pinapanood lang yung interview. I had some questions that I wanted to direct to him. Di sumama na rin siya sa interview. Sa akin, wow. Okay, dream come true to. Silang dalawa, the same.
2 birds in 1 ka.
That couch. Kwentuhan. Okay, straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
And then I met other Pinoy fight choreographers.
Yeah.
Si Robert Alonzo. He was the stunt coordinator for Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah, parang tunog ng pangalan na yun.
Siya yung nagturo nung Arnis kay Kerry Russell dun sa...
Oh, shit.
Yung scene na sila ni Tom Cruise nag-stick drills.
Yeah!
That was Robert Alonzo.
So, nandun din siya.
So, he's in the film also.
okay.
Diana Inosanto, who is now in the Asoka...
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Anak ni Guro Dan, si Diana. So, I interviewed her too. And her husband, Ron, who have for the longest time been involved in
movies,
in stunt coordinating in Hollywood. So, yeah.
So was that the inspiration to get into, writing?
I didn't know yet at the time. Pero after the success of that film, I released it on DVD pa sa Amazon 10 years ago.
Okay.
2013, December, was the official release. Pero the year before, nag-screening tour pa kami. Coast to coast kami nun, pare. Yung 2 weeks ko lang dapat sa US at that time, naging 2 months.
Was that all expense paid from the producers?
Well, some of them were at my expense also. Pero there were so many groups that were interested in having me around to screen the film and do Q&As afterwards. So anyway, because of my hubris from the success of that first film, I started filming on the subject matter of Filipinos in comics. Yeah. At that time, ang focus ko pala, dahil nagkukwentuhan kami ni Will Sportacio during San Diego Comic Con.
Will Sportacio, guys, you comic book people know him. To the younger ones, he is a Filipino who was one of the founders of Image Comics.
Yes. Yeah. Nakilala ko kasi si Wills dito sa Pilipinas noong 90s.
Yung when he did the seminar, di ba nagka-seminar siya with Glass House ata?
He put up a studio.
Oo.
In New Manila.
Oo.
To get a new crop of artists from which Lainil Francis Yu came
from, yeah.
And Jerry Alangilan.
Yeah.
Marami sila Gilbert Monsanto, sila
mga UP halos lahat.
Sila Jay Anacleto.
Yeah.
Mga big time ngayon. At that time nagtayo siya ng studio sa New Manila to train a new crop of artists and then get them jobs with
Marvel, DC.
With Marvel and DC. So pero may side gig yung studio ni Wills. Sila yung gumawa ng River Maya second album cover.
Anong album?
Siya yung nag-drawing nun.
Anong album ng second album ng River Maya?
Nakalimutan ko title nun Pero yung abstract na drawing, si Will Sportacio yun.
Sportacio pa rin.
And then, they were also doing album designs and poster designs for the record companies.
Parang na sila nag-advertising studio, parang in a way, no?
Yeah, ganon. So, I met him in Hit Productions.
Okay, sa Makati,
This was mga 1996 when I met him. So anyway, I hadn't seen him in many years. Nagkita kami sa San Diego Comic Con in 2013.
Okay.
And he kept telling me about so many Pinoys involved in the industry. So naisip ko gumawa ng documentary. So from then on, I started filming interviews.
Yeah.
Na-meet ko in the same Comic Con si Alex Nino. Regular siya nag-attend ng
Comic Con.
Ng Comic Con.
Was he promoting something during that time or was wala?
No, he was just na siya, basically retired na siya, but he still keeps on drawing and painting. So he sells the artwork
sa Comic Con.
In Comic Con. Yeah. So and people go to him to have their vintage stuff signed, di ba?
Sa Comic Con.
In Comic Con. Yeah. So and people go to him to have their vintage stuff signed, di ba? So I met him and we got along and I asked if I could interview him and then it happened. And then parang a year later, the first thing I asked him to do was a drawing of a swordsman, an indigenous swordsman, to act as, ang bala ko nun gawing poster yun, to tie in The Bladed Hand, the first docu, with the new comic book documentary.
Okay.
So, pero yung poster na yun was The Bladed Hand limited edition na may Alex Nino poster.
That's just for the documentary alone, just to promote
Parang
it.
cross-promotion.
Cross-promotion,
So, umandar naman ng konti yun. But then, in the midst of it all, ang dami-dami ko nang na-film na interviews. I've interviewed Stan Lee.
My God!
si Wills, of course.
Who else? I'm excited to know.
Dennis Cowan. Si Rafael Kayanan.
If those names, there were the Philippine. There was in the 70s. It was called the Philippine Invasion. That we were a lot of.
Sige. In 1970 or 71, 1970 yata yun eh. The three big names of DC Comics, the editor-in-chief and the it wasn't the CEO, the head honcho. Kasama si Tony De Zuniga, who was a famous Filipino artist who co-created or created Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex, yeah.
Oh.
Little do everyone knows that the one of the a cowboy. Jonah Hex is to people that of course comic book people know that Jonah Hex is one of our favorite cowboy characters. I think one of the most American characters is partly Pinoy.
Yeah. So these three guys, I've seen may kasama, Carmine Infantino and Joe Orlando. These three came to the Philippines to do some talent scouting.
Yeah.
But they already had a wish list.
May ano na sila, mga nakaset na silang
Alam na nila kung sino yung targetin nilang mga artists. But they also wanted to meet more.
Okay.
Because at that time, may strike yung artists sa New York. Yung mga DC artists sa New York, nag-strike.
Kasama Marvel din dun kasi New York-based din sila, di ba?
Hindi ko alam kung it might have been just
DC lang.
a problem within DC.
Okay.
Naghanap ngayon ng ma-outsource na artist. Habang nagsa-strike yung iba, of course, they still had to continue the business. Naghanap ng iba.
Yeah.
And yung mga Pinoy ang natipuhan nila because they've been
It's faster.
seeing works by Pinoys. There was a couple who promoted pinakita sa San Diego Comic Con yung mga portfolio ng mga Filipino artists. So that's one of the reasons why the Americans were aware that we existed. So one of the guys on top of the list was Alex Nino.
Yeah.
They wanted Francisco Coching, now national artist, pero he refused to work for a foreign company.
He's okay.
Sabi niya, I want my art for the Philippines lang. So, yun, marami sila. Rudy Nebres, whom I also interviewed pala. So, si Mang Rudy, Mang Alex, and marami sila.
Yeah.
Nestor Redondo, Alfredo Alcala are two of the seniors of Mang Alex who were considered the greatest along with Francisco Oching. So those were the top three. But anyway, yun. So nagkaroon na ang there was a time na naghari yung mga Filipino illustrators sa DC Comics. They had their horror publications in which guys like Mang Alex really shined, and the Redondo School and Alfredo Alcala, and yun, that is our involvement or contribution to the world of comics.
And now you're in talks with Alex. How did you get him to? Ano ba na una? Did you write it first and show the script to Alex?
The very first one that I wrote is this. This one is called The Merchant of Oltrarno. It's a story about wine and murder.
Is it based on like Greek, like parang
may elements?
Greek
May elements. Yeah.
And this is also Alex.
This is my first with Alex Nino.
Partnership with Alex.
Yeah, he illustrated, he painted the pages. He used acrylic. So, ayan yung mga...
Dapat ito, hindi na libro. Dapat ito, per piece na binibenta.
Yan, ganyan.
Nice.
So it's set in Florence, Italy.
Yeah.
So ayan yung landmarks, the David and the Duomo. And yan, we have our characters.
Guys, if you want, if you want a copy of this is available here,
right here
in Coffee and Comics. Guys, please drop by. The links are all down below.
Buy comics, read comics, drink coffee, hang out.
That's it. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
So, thank you again. This is Elsie De Leon and Jay Ignacio. Thank you again for joining us. And this is Coffee and Comics. Till all are one.